We'll just say Big Travis got the night off.
We are live. We're live right now.
We are live with the mock draft 10 team PPR with the Fantasy Whispers. You got your boy Johnny Game Time Hicks, Austin Sear over here. Big Travis got the night off. We're filling in for him. How you doing, Game Time?
I'm doing great. Yeah, Big Travis doing some wilderness exploring up there in Oregon. He is getting away from everybody and everything, looking at beautiful waterfalls. I'm super jealous, but it's okay, dude. You know why? Because we get a mock draft, so life isn't that terrible in our shoes right now.
He's over there overturning river stones. We're overturning fantasy stones, seeing what kind of gems we can pull up, and it's going to be another phenomenal draft. We're doing a 10 team, as we said. We're going to be getting started in just a little bit. If anybody out there still wants to log on and be a part of this mock draft, we've got 4 spots left. 4 spots left. Oh, 3 spots left. Someone just logged in, and we've only got 3 now, so they are going fast. If anybody wants to log on and be a part of this mock draft, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. We've got the 3 spot, the 7 spot, and the 8 spot still up in our 10-team half-point PPR. While these folks are filling in the last couple ones, I want to give a big shout-out to our folks in the live draft with us right now. We got Daddy, we got Chrismo2413, Johnny Game Time Hicks, of course, Reed Tyler, The Shiva, and our boy Jacob Blay. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, we tweeted out the link. If you're following us on YouTube and want to join in on this mock draft, we just tweeted out the link. So just go click on that. If no one joins by 7:05, we're going to get this started, Austin. Sorry, I almost called you Travis. I'm so used to saying Travis.
I know the resemblance is overwhelming with the shaven face and the golden cardigan. I look just like him right now. But we do have the black headband, of course. So
yeah,
my mom calls me Travis all the time too. So it's all good. So Johnny, while these folks are filling in, we got big news that hit the NFL world today.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes setting records. What do you think?
This is great. I think a lot of people are, they were questioning whether or not Pat Mahomes had made the right decision. They had said, why was Pat Mahomes making this? 10 years? That's insane. That's ridiculous. But as more and more details came out about the contract, it's looking more and more like Pat Mahomes really, really set this up well. He's going to get paid. He's got a lot of outs. This is great. He's going to be making a lot of money in 2020. What was it, like 2026 or something like that? He could be making like $60 million that season, depending on the incentives and everything. It's mind-boggling, man. Mind-boggling.
If this goes the way it could go, I think both parties involved are going to be making out way ahead on this deal. Patrick Mahomes is one of the few situations, as far as I'm concerned, that you would sign a guy still on his rookie contract to this type of deal. The value he's going to bring the Chiefs brand is invaluable. I mean, we're not talking about a major market squad. Despite their tenured history and their recent Super Bowl win, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. We're not talking about one of those traditional hallmark teams, but this is the future right here. When you got a guy who's still on his rookie deal, isn't able to be an MVP, a Super Bowl champ, drop a 5,000-yard and 50 touchdown season, doing it with the exact same offense Alex Smith had, this guy's special. He's not a product of the system. His arm, straight up, might be the best arm we've ever seen in the NFL. Realizing it's a small sample size. I'm not calling him the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm saying his arm right now might be the best arm we've ever seen.
I think he will go down as the best quarterback we've ever seen. Like, it's just insane things that the potential, and here's what's wild. Travis and I were talking about this the other day. He was on a radio station a few months ago, right? And he admitted, he said, I am just now beginning to read and understand coverages. And like the guy, the radio host was like, what? No way. Like, you know what you're doing. Like, he's like, no, like I get called 2 plays. I am told, like, if this guy is here, then I check out. He's like, but now I'm like starting to come. I watch a lot of game film, and he's like, now I'm Oh no. I am starting to understand defenses, and that is when if this guy think about like Peyton
This guy doesn't
Manning.
have an NFL degree yet.
No, I know. Like think about Peyton Manning. Like if he gets anywhere near the mental on like as a mental facilitator on the field, like he knows what's going on to the degree of Peyton Manning. Look out! Like this thing is.
I don't
He's
even think he
going to
needs
be
to
good.
get anywhere near the mental. If he gets there, for sure. But Peyton Manning's last couple of years were just throwing ducks
Oh
up
yeah,
there. It
no.
was his mind that had the whole thing done. And Patrick Mahomes, his football IQ is through the roof. And just like you so adeptly put it, he hasn't even started cracking into the real knowledge level of the
Right.
NFL. He's just doing this on raw skill straight up. So when he does get the degree in the NFL, when he's had 4 years or more in there and starts to actually learn how to play this game, my goodness, watch out. So I think that it's a great deal for both teams involved. Kansas City fans, lucky you.
All right, should we I think these spots are just going to probably sit. We are going to join in here. We got 3 spots left. Let's just kick this off, Austin.
Let's do it.
Let's give a hey, if anyone is right now watching this, can you please give this video a giant thumbs up, and 2, let us know what you're doing right now in the comments. Like let's get these comments bumping. I know Whisper Nation
Oh
can
yeah.
do it. And let's start this draft, shall we, Austin?
Let's do it. So Johnny's going to get this one started. Him and we're going to be doing a couple of strategies to help everybody else out there in Whisper Nation get a little insight into what we're thinking here. We talked about it beforehand. I'm going to go off and do a running back heavy draft, meaning I'm going to make my first 3 picks at least all running backs. Johnny's going to aim for an upside down, meaning he's going to aim to go his first at least 3 picks at the wide receiver position. If when he does get to the 5th spot, though, he doesn't have one of those elite level wide receivers left, meaning a top level running back now has fallen to that number 5 spot, Johnny's going to go ahead and planning on grabbing that running back there. But the plan right now is for me to go running back heavy, Johnny to go wide receiver heavy, and then we can compare our teams and y'all can see how these 2 different strategies ended up resulting in our squads. So me at the number 1 position, I love Saquon Barkley in a standard league, but at this full point PPR, it's a really easy choice right there. Christian McCaffrey is the number 1, and now he is on my team.
Not wanting to that's a great pick. I mean, you can't really fault anyone for doing
PPR, it's pretty much a done deal right there, right?
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey is a stud, gets the major contract, so you don't really have to worry about him holding out or anything like that. But
even with some regression with the new scheme coming in, I'm not concerned about it. I don't think he's going to be producing the same amount of points, but just the opportunity, the skill set, the role on the team, it's about the same, maybe just a little bit worse. And even if he did scale off 10%, he's still the number 1 running back in the league last year.
I concur. He's so good. He's insanely, like, watching his game film. It's just
And still going to get he is so good. And we know he's so good, but I cannot lay off the opportunity this guy has enough. He has no competition behind him. There's nobody behind him who's going to be coming up there. Like, they're going to give someone the rock, but there's no one actually going to be earning takes from CMC.
It is
Am I
my
wrong
pick.
on that?
No. It is. No, it's great. I was just holding my breath because I really wanted a player to drop to me, and sure enough, he did. So now I'm excited. I was holding. Sorry, I got real quiet there for a second, Austin. I apologize. But I wanted Michael Thomas really badly. So I was able to get him. So we are good to go. We are good to roll on the strategy number 1. We saw what the defense was giving us, and we went with it. We didn't have to call the audible. We had 3 checkdowns. We did this before the show.
Situation.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. Now I'm pumped. Now I'm jacked. I was a little nervous to start the show because I was like, 1, can people hear us? Can the stream hear us? Because we always have difficulties with that. Second one was, am I going to get my guy? And I did.
And that is such a nerve-wracking thing all the time in fantasy. But one of the things that we love to talk about is to come in prepared, right? And to know your tiers, to have your situation planned out as well as you can. Now, when we're doing a mock draft, we're hoping and holding our breath for a few different things. Johnny obviously wanted to go the heavy wide receiver route. Johnny, if Michael Thomas wasn't there, though, what was going to be your plan? What was your backup plan in case your number 1 wide receiver in a PPR format wasn't available?
I was going to take Alvin Kamara at that spot. And I still, listen, if someone wants to take Alvin Kamara here at that 5 spot, the 105, in a 10 team, I'm fine with that. That's okay. I wouldn't fault anybody for taking that. But like I said, I wanted to stay true to this. I wanted to show people and demonstrate what it's like to go with this strategy, because it is an interesting strategy. Not a lot of people think that you should go upside down, especially in in a PPR link that's 10 team. You want to kind of set your team apart, but I'm excited. Oh my goodness, Austin Sear. Ooh.
It came back around now. Now, while you're making your pick, John, I just want to let the viewers know we got Alvin Kamara came right after Michael Thomas, followed by Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacob. Jacob Blay rounded his out with Kenyon Drake and Joe Mixon. In the second round now with Miles Sanders, Nick Chubb, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. Now, Johnny, you got someone to pair up with Michael Thomas. We're talking about wide receivers. Some big ones just came off the board, but what do you got your eyes on right now?
I am going to go this. I am going to go with Tyreek Hill here and just pair Michael Thomas with Tyreek Hill. Couldn't have been any better to start off with these two wide receivers.
2018's number 1 wide receiver by a mile, pairing up with 2019's number 1 wide receiver and Michael Thomas. That sounds like a damn good combo, especially going with a wide receiver 1-2. I don't even care what position you are. You get those two guys. Watch out.
Hey, the mustard is going to be off the hot dog with these two. Let's just say that, okay?
That's some spicy stuff right there, isn't it?
All right. Yeah, Pimpin' Ain't Easy, unfortunately. Pimpin' Ain't Easy. I need to get if you are following us on Instagram, please DM us. You come in every single week. We greatly appreciate you. We'd love to DM you the link before the show each and every single week, because you do jump on the live stream. We appreciate you. Oh, hold on. I might not have. I didn't even switch the screen. This whole time they've just been looking at our beautiful faces, Austin.
Blessing. So, sorry, guys.
I'm sorry, Whisper Nation. You guys have been like, what is going on the mock draft here?
Well, Johnny's getting that set up. I want to walk through. Now, I did say that I was going to go running back heavy. I'm glad Patrick Mahomes was taking the pick before me by Daddy, because boy, was he going to be tempting me to go with that 3 elite strategy there if Patrick Mahomes is still available. He is not. Neither is Lamar Jackson, which makes sticking to my strategy pretty easy. When I'm looking at the running backs over here, well, I'm going to go ahead and take my guy who's been slept on a little bit. I'm a big Leonard Fournette fan this year. I also like Todd Gurley, but I believe that Leonard Fournette's got a higher ceiling.
It's not just this year. Every single year.
Leonard Fournette?
Yeah, you love Leonard Fournette.
Well, he's a top 5 running back his rookie year, and then last year he was dealing some weird statistical anomalies coming on with touchdowns and whatnot, but he had over 100 targets that came his way. I think it's going to be a run-heavy team. Leonard Fournette is an elite talent. We're talking a 240-pound bruising back who 2 years ago logged the fastest offensive miles per hour land speed time at like 21.7 miles an hour or something like that. I do not want 240 pounds coming at me, especially for a dude who likes to hit you. Like, that's the thing people forget about Leonard Fournette. The guy asks people to come here, and then he hits them in the mouth. And so much to the point he loses yards because of how much he likes to hit people. It's like, bro, get smarter. Do a Sean Alexander, step out of bounds, whatever. But that's him. So, yeah, I do love Leonard Fournette. And I want to say 2 weeks ago, I went ahead and I grabbed Le'Veon Bell at this spot. But seeing what could come back around at the 1, I'm going with Kansas City's new rookie prize in Clyde Edwards-Helaire to start the 3rd round pick. So I'm going Leonard Fournette and CEH there to pair round out my running backs.
Did you see the Austin Eckler clapback today? Or I don't know if it happened today or if it was yesterday, but
I'll put some respect on his name.
Well, Fantasy Football Counselor was saying how, downgrading Austin Eckler because of volume, which, I don't blame him for saying, the counselor is saying that, and then Eckler came out and was like, oh, it's about efficient. Like, went off paragraph and was like, it's about efficiency. I don't need a lot of carries. I just need space. Like whoa, dude. Someone's a little upset.
I don't blame him, man. And I hope he comes with a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to get a shot. I think there's more competition there starting off. But he's definitely going to be the lead dog to start off the season. New players, new quarterback, new system. But why? If Austin Eckler, this is your window right now, man. Like, you're coming in as a top RB1 from last year. I think more people should put respect on your name. I wouldn't draft him, but if I was Austin Eckler, I'd be fucking going for it.
I'm sorry. I had to grab Travis Kelce because
Tell us about it.
Because he is a wide receiver 1 in a tight end position. So this does not stray from the normal strategy. I will be able to get a wide receiver in the 4th. So
we just hit upside down, right? So we're not taking running backs.
We're not right.
So this is all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
And I would have. Here's the thing. A lot of people are gonna say, why did you take 2 people on the same team? If there's going to be a team where I'm going to take 2 players from that team, it's going to be Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Now, there was a little bit of a gamble there that George Kittle could swing back around in the 4th, and you could grab him there. And I should have taken Kenny G in that. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. That's why we like to mock draft. So ideally, that thought, so the thought process was, do I get Kenny G and then, fingers crossed that George Kittle would fall to me, or do I go Travis Kelce here and grab the better wide receiver? And so that's what I went with. I took that gamble, and it's looking like it could pay off here for me.
I like that pick. I want to applaud you, Johnny, for the nimble move on this one. Going in, planning on doing some wide receiver at the 3rd round, but this is one of those things when you look at your tiers, right? And Johnny knows that in his top tier for tight ends, he's got Travis Kelce number 1, and in that same tier or close to it is going to be George Kittle. But if you can get that guy in the top tier, and meanwhile then in the wide receivers, the guys you're looking at afterwards, Kenny Golladay is a beast, but you still got a lot of other really good players up on that wide receiver list. At the time you had Amari Cooper right there, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, A.J. Brown. A lot of these guys who, they're not there where Kenny Golladay is, but I'm going to say they're closer to Kenny G than, say, a Zach Ertz would be to a Travis Kelce.
Yes.
Would that be fair, Johnny?
Perfect. Well said. And actually, the guy that I'm going to take here is a guy that I'm a huge fan just behind Kenny G, and that is DJ Moore. So I like the pairing of having DJ Moore. And I think you said it perfectly. Taking Kenny Golladay and then maybe taking a guy like Zach Ertz is a lot more exciting to me, and I feel like my team has higher upside going Kelce and DJ Moore.
Yeah, the question now comes, and I think you played it right. Who would you rather have, Travis Kelce, DJ Moore, or Kenny Golladay, Zach Ertz? I'd rather go with the prior.
Yeah, I think so as well. I want to give a shout out once again. I know this is normally Austin's thing, but I just, I have to do it, Austin. I just have to do it. I got to get shout out to everyone who is joining us right now, who is watching our live stream. We greatly, greatly appreciate you. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do. It means the world to us, and our channel is growing. I'm distracted because I'm checking to see right now if we have.
Oh, it's been firing up. I was looking the other day. I was like, hopefully it's like we're over 630. We're over 630, and look, it was like close to 650.
We're very close to 650.
Look at it go.
We're very, very, very close to 650. Two away.
Daddy just took. Gosh darn you, Daddy. I was hoping to make my wide receiver pivot and lead it with an A.J. Brown, who I think is a slept-on wide receiver. Those in Fantasy or Whisper Nation who have been listening know. Big fan of the show, A.J. Brown, from all the commentators involved. Big Travie, Johnny Game Time, the one behind the glass, myself included. Everybody loves A.J. Brown. He will not be on my mock drafted team, though. So
that would have been so. Oh, that would have been dirty.
I know.
That would have been dirty.
There. So I'm actually going to pivot a little bit because I was really liking the idea. A.J. Brown is in that high tier for me. I'm not going to be able to get him at this. I still got some. Now, I do got 3 strong running backs, which I'm considering. I'm going to be going ahead and doing something I wouldn't normally do right in this position. but that's because if we're playing the tier game and who you should go with, I'm going to go ahead and grab Kyler Murray right here at that 4 turn.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I was looking at the rest of the wide receivers. Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley, Robert Woods, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, T.Y. Hilton, DJ Shark. These are the guys at the top of the list right there. All fine wide receivers, but as far as I'm concerned, not one of those guys I just mentioned is hands down the lead dog over there on their new team. Closest one would be T.Y. Hilton for sure, and I'm a big T.Y. Hilton fan of the skill set, and I think he's going to do just fine with a new quarterback. But I don't have any of these wide receivers there I like to anchor my team to. A.J. Brown would have been those ones I would have felt comfortable with, but because I don't have that receiver there, I'm going to pivot and find some guys who are in a different tier. And Kyler Murray, for me, I didn't really want to grab a quarterback this early, but he is in another tier for me with that ceiling and because of his legs. So I went ahead and pivoted and grabbed him. This would be the time I'd be taking a look over at the at the tight ends as well. Nobody in that next tier for me. And this is one, I'm going a little heavy on this one, but when we're just talking that light, Le'Veon Bell now for me is the guy who stands out.
I was hoping you would skip over him.
I know that's my 4th running back, and we're in a full point PPR league, and I still don't have a wide receiver yet.
And you only start 2, and you start 3 wide receivers.
Well, I'm gonna start a 3rd running back in my flex spot.
That's what you're gonna do. All right.
We got in our PPR dynasty league.
In our
PPR Dynasty League, I started running back in my flex spot all the time, and it's a pretty good team. And so I feel very comfortable doing that. And the trade bait, the opportunity, people are going to be looking for these running backs. Le'Veon Bell is going to have the opportunity. He's going to have production. He's got a high floor. And I'd rather have that on my team than, say, a guy who's going to be maybe 2nd or 3rd wide receiver on his team. That's where my thinking is on it there. So let's see how it shakes up and pans out, but that's what I'm thinking. While Daddy's making his pick, I just want to give one shout out to everybody here in the chat, in the live chat. Thank you all for joining us. Everybody who's in the draft room, thank you for being here. It is always so much fun. You bring so much energy, and Johnny and I just keep talking afterwards because of what y'all bring to the table. Also want to remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this show. It really, really does help. And keep an eye out for Mock Draft Marathon coming up in August. That's 24 hours of live drafting. We want to make sure you get installed into that, so keep an eye out for that. After my Le'Veon Bell pick, David Montgomery's off the board. Jonathan Taylor's gone. Robert Woods is gone. And Johnny Game Time Hicks is considering his 5th-round pick in his upside-down strategy. Could be starting to take a running back right now. What are you thinking, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a running back right now. I need to. This thing is drying up quick. I looked and it looked as if I was in good position about 1 round ago, but then there was a monster running back, 5 running backs come off the board between my picks, my 4th and 5th round picks. So drying up well here, if I can speak. So I'm going to go with a running back. I need a starter. So I need a guy, and Mark Ingram. Listen, I understand a lot of people are sleeping or thinking Mark Ingram is going to all of a sudden die. I don't know why people have automatically made that decision. I do get it. J.K. Dobbins is this awesome running back who has a lot of upside for sure. And, the draft's not over. I'll say that. I'll just leave that hint there. And second of all, I need a starting running back right now with what my team looks like. I can worry about the second half of the fantasy season once we get there. But right now, I got to win. I got to start off with a bang. So Mark Ingram gives me the best chance to do that.
I love this Mark Ingram pick. You're talking about the lead guy who's a great running back on a very good run-heavy offense. Everybody's expecting J.K. Dobbins to get all this work, but it's a rookie running back who's still behind a guy who hasn't given you any reason to take his touches away. Mark Ingram's a competitive-ass dude, too, and I do not think he's going to take kindly.
Big trust.
Big trust. He's got his role. He does his thing, and they're looking for a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah.
So I love that pick right here, and this just goes to show you out there, Whisper Nation, of what is possible when you go ahead and do some of these strategies that are they're flat out scary. I think that's the right word, because just like Game Time said, you're doing these drafts, you're in your 3rd, 4th round, whatever, and you start to see some good running backs coming off the board, but you just don't know who's going to be there left in the barrel. Because what happens is everybody else then takes their running backs, and now they're desperate for wide receivers. And so then you get these running backs who are, maybe they're incomplete pieces, but you put enough of them together, and you got a roster that's very impressive. I mean, right now, you could go ahead and you could grab, it's a possible strategy, like a J.K. Dobbins here in that next pick, right?
Yeah,
And then you just have it locked up. And then it's like, I got the starting running back for a run heavy beast ass team. It's just a strategy. Not saying he's going to do that, but it's a possibility, a way to cover your bases, if you will, when you go heavy at another position.
So what I am going to do, I'm going to glance over here just to see. Ooh, DJ Chark and Terry McLaurin are. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger here on. I am a bigger. I love DJ Moore. Huge fan of DJ Moore. You can ask Austin. But I'm a bigger fan of Terry McLaurin. So sign me up for Terry McLaurin in my flex spot here. Yes. Yes, please. I know I only have one starting running back as of right now, and it seems a little scary. It seems a little bleak. But I am absolutely in love with my 4 wide receivers that I have here, Austin.
And
So
I love those receivers. That's a beast, high ceiling. Man, the Michael Thomas Tyreek Hill combo, we'll touch on that more later. But this is just shaping into a really pretty draft for you. And I am excited to compare your strategy and my strategy because I'm going to
yeah.
stick with the running back heavy. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that Daddy doesn't take Damian Williams, which he did not. Thank you. Just so I could talk a little bit about what I did for my lesson learned last 2 weeks ago. So I went ahead and didn't take CEH in that third round. I was drafting in the number 1 position, and at that second round, third round turn, I went Le'Veon Bell last time because I wanted to have that guarantee. Now, if I can get those CEH and Damian Williams, in my mind, then have the starting running back for the Chiefs, regardless of what Andy Reid decides, I love that. I know I could be going ahead and grabbing another guy who's actually going to be starting, but here's the thing. You only get to start so many guys on your active roster. And if I get to go and have the most productive backfield, we'll say with the Chiefs in the league, I like that guarantee. That makes me feel comfortable. It works for me in years past. I know I'm giving up a little bit, but in the long run, I think it's worth it every time. I'm the kind of guy who drafted Devontae Freeman in the 2nd and Tevin Coleman in the 5th. I'm the kind of guy who's got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both on my team, and I pay a premium to do that because I'm set up regardless.
Yeah. And I do think that in some cases it definitely does make a lot of sense for sure. So I do like that. I'm hoping that you do grab. There is someone here that I hope you do grab. I would make a lot of sense for you. But we'll see. What are you going to do here with your?
I think I know how I'm going to do it because you know me, man. I'm always swinging for the fences. It's always high ceiling. And for that reason, there's no other. My running backs are stacked and good, but more importantly, there's not another running back over there that I would want to fill in. Because there's nobody in that tier of their own, if you will. There's no guaranteed starter. There's no guy who's talent-wise head and shoulders above. And my whole rest of my roster is squared up right there. So now I'm really pivoting over. I got to look at tight ends and wide receivers. I like Stephon Diggs. I really like the possibility there, but I really got to swing for the fences. I'm believing he's healthy. He's for a wide receiver. His age is still just fine. And I think there's a lot of good energy coming into Cincinnati.
Wow.
I'm going with AJ Green at the number 1 for my number 1 wide receiver in the 7th round.
So you really liked. You were really listening big to our our face off on Friday, huh? With the AJ Green and Diggs. You were loving that.
Oh, I love that episode. I love your and Big Travis takes on it, and I think that AJ Green's last year's issue was health. AJ Green before last year, I want to let the viewers know, up until from his rookie year up and through 2018, him and Julio Jones, they were drafted just a handful of picks apart from one another. And up until that, and 2 years ago, they had the exact same amount of fantasy points per season, down to the decimal point. It was like 168 and change. It was ridiculous. These two guys, AJ Green gets slept on all the time, and especially recently because of his injured health, because of the turmoil going on in Cincinnati, because of Andy Dalton out there. But AJ Green is a beast. He had the whole year off for the most part. It's not guaranteed that this is happening, which is why he's available in the 7th, but I'm happy to pick him up at that position with my number 1 wide receiver, given he could be a wide receiver 1, and I just got him after a whole ton of wide receivers were already taken.
This is insane because I really want to take DJ Chark here, even though I've got 4 wide receivers. But DeAndre Swift could fill my running back spot here. So I will go DeAndre Swift to get my second running back. But man, I was very tempted into going DJ Chark. And to be honest with you, thinking back immediately right now, DJ Chark, if I'm in a real draft, I actually
Mhm.
probably would draft DJ Chark right there. Um,
Over
be
Swift.
over Swift. And a lot of people are going to say, well, why would you need another running back? And to that, I would say that a guy like DJ Chark is going to, once you're in the season, you are going, like right now, I'm just trying to fill that RB2 role. And that's going to evolve throughout the year, like based on what I've got. Like I thought you made a great point. Like all the rest of these guys are just like shots in the dark or whatever. You're hoping they pop off. So at that point, I should have taken something that is. I am very confident DJ Chark is going to be a wide receiver 2, with the upside of a wide receiver 1, and that would could get me a better running back in the regular season,
Mhm.
than what I just picked up in DeAndre Swift. I'm a big fan of Swift, so it does kind of work out. So now I don't have to be worried about, oh, when am I going to grab my next running back here. But Jay
Mhm.
Blee, of course, has to get my really
Let me
unbelievable.
ask you about that one, Game Time. So you must have been very confident that DeAndre Swift is going to be the starting running back in Detroit.
I am 200% confident that DeAndre.
200% confident.
Yes.
If that's your take, then that is what you exactly should do, because J.K. Dobbins, you obviously don't think he's going to be taking over that role from Mark Ingram. So your
Mhm.
thought behind taking DeAndre Swift instead of J.K. Dobbins was, let me get 2 starting running backs
Yeah.
versus let me lock up the Baltimore backfield.
Yeah.
And maybe if you get J.K. Dobbins later,
I'll,
but you're looking for that starting back.
Right. And to be honest, I thought I was really wanting, my intentions were to take J.K. Dobbins here in the 8th to lock up that Baltimore backfield. And I would have been completely like, okay, now my team is really set. And now I got to kind of scramble for another running back option here. But because Jacob always listens to our show, of course he was going to take Dobbins. He wouldn't let me get it that easily. But listen, Swift will be the running back there. They invested super high draft capital into him. People are gonna say Kerryon Johnson is there, and they haven't really seen Kerryon, and so no. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kerryon Johnson, we know what he is. He's not a good running back. Kerryon Johnson is a guy they are going to either trade when an injury happens to a running back, or COVID hits a whole entire running back depth chart, and you need to trade for a running back, and Detroit's got a bunch of them. So either that or like DeAndre Swift is going to be the guy. They brought him in. They brought him for the system. Like this is going to be the guy. I'm so confident in that. But getting to my pick here, I need to get a guy, and you guys are all gonna laugh. You're gonna say, why would you take him? But I am a big fan of Sony Michel this year, and
Hmm.
I needed another running back. So I am going to stack another running back up there. I know he is going to get between 200 and 250 touches in this backfield. It could go up. Cam Newton is there, so I have a little bit more confidence in this offense. Now, does Cam Newton scare me off a little bit as far as taking that goal line carry away from Sony? It does a little bit, but also, if Cam is already coming in a little bit banged up, or he had surgery, why would they want to continue to put him at risk? I think they'll try to mitigate that, and they'll give that to Sony. So I'm a big fan of Sony this year.
Okay. And I think whoever's going to be leading the backfield over there is going to be a good one. It's just always deciding with those Bellatrix of which
Yeah.
running back is it going to be. And the good thing, though, is James White's got his role. He's already off the board here. But if you wanted to go ahead and double up, and who was the running back that they selected last year in the second round that they basically
Damian
redshirted?
Harris, which is
Damian Harris. So if you
the
wanted to
new
grab him there,
hotness.
that
Yeah,
still option is still available. Something you
it
could
is.
still consider doing if that's what you wanted to do.
Yep.
So I'm
Oh,
going to
I'm
do something a
sorry.
little bit.
Oh, you ran. That's all right. You
I
took.
went ahead and made my selection here. I that was kind of a rush pick on there. I went ahead and locked up now the number one wide receiver over there in Cincinnati. And that was Tyler Boyd to go along with AJ Green. So now I've got that situation handled. And there is a world where, never mind. Brandon Cooks was gone because I was thinking about instead going Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. Another one of those situations is like, who's going to be the number one over there in Houston, Brandon Cooks or Will Fuller? You can make a case for both of them over there. If I would have gone and just locked them both up there, you got a guy there. And well, Johnny definitely has strong opinions. I just like to play probability. I got opinions on these ones too.
Yeah.
So, but I just like to say the probability, and my probability now of getting the number one wide receiver in Cincinnati is about 95%.
It is an intriguing proposition for me to do it on the wide receivers. I just think that there's a lot of depth here at the wide receiver position to have to do that. I'm I think that Tyler Boyd will be good. I think that AJ Green, there is a possibility. I don't like stacking my wide receivers like that just because I limit the upside and I'm tying him to a rookie quarterback. But I'm not going, I get what you're saying. You're just trying to make sure you have surefire guys, and those guys are going to be solid.
Mm-hmm.
Will Fuller, I think, has the upside to be a top 10, a top 8 wide receiver if he stays healthy. I am a little bit surprised, though, that you didn't go with Brandon Cooks there. You are a big fan of Brandon Cooks.
He was taken already.
Oh, he is, yeah. Okay, he came off before. I did not see that. I apologize. So, very, very interesting.
That would be my preference. I would have liked the Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks stack just because both are going to be well. Deshaun Watson's a beast and in a good high floor, high ceiling situation there.
Did you think at all about taking Jarvis Landry?
I did. Yeah, I definitely did over there.
But
my thought on Jarvis Landry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I like Jarvis Landry, but Jarvis Landry's still coming off of a hip injury. You've got Odell Beckham, who is over there as well, who I think is a more talented wide receiver. We're still figuring it out, and this way I get a guaranteed number one when I went with Tyler Boyd and AJ Green versus potentially not having anybody. And that's my fallback on there, because if neither one of those receivers ends up being much of anything, then there it goes. So I'm basically saying I'm going to take 2 picks and guarantee I got a guy versus taking 2 roles and potentially not having any guy at all. So that was my thought process behind that. But while Johnny here is selecting Tariq Cohen on the tails of Deontay Johnson, Jarvis Landry, and Jordan Howard. Just one more time, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the draft room. Thank you for being here. If you haven't had a chance to hit that thumbs button, please do so and stay around for our daily content we have coming out every single day, up on the Instagram, Twitter, on the website, new articles coming out. You can check those out at thefantasywhispers.com. And this is where you can also find the Patreon account, sponsor the show. If you feel so inclined, we love that support. Thank you all so much. Patreon is over at thefantasywhispers.com. So Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen, man, getting slept on over here in a lot of worlds. This is a talented back who's coming into the new future of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this is a half-point PPR league. Again, I am just trying. There's a couple options that I do like. So I'm going to hope a couple of them fall to me at this position. But right now, I'm literally just swinging for the fences. And what did we see just a few years ago? Tariq Cohen. Well, we've had back-to-back seasons where he had over 100 targets. Again, this is a PPR league, so these targets mean a lot. And Tariq Cohen is a guy. If you're telling me he's getting over 104 targets, that's a lot more than a lot of these wide receivers are getting that are going around the same area. And I need a RB2, so let me have him. Some people might say, oh, that's a little bit high, but I'm telling you, people are sleeping too much on Tariq Cohen because of last year, and he's already come out and said that he was sleeping on himself a little bit. He said he got a little bit lackadaisical. So
one of the things I love about that pick, a Tariq Cohen pick, versus, and no shade or anything to say a Jordan Howard, or even on your pick like a Sony Michel or a DeAndre Swift if things go really south. A Tariq Cohen, maybe he doesn't fulfill all of his potential, but he's got a role on this team. He's going to be that third down back. He's going to be that scat back. He might not get as many straight up touches as you're hoping that he could, but it doesn't matter, because if he gets them, oh my goodness, we're talking about potentially another Alvin Kamara type back. And if he doesn't, okay, fine. He's a stream him in your flex.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to start him, you start him. And you're glad that you have him there, and maybe you get one of those games where he breaks a 70-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, exactly. I do need to get a quarterback here at some point, but I'm not going to do it yet. I am going to go ahead and lock up that Detroit backfield, so that way I
Mm,
know that
love it.
I've got it. So Kerryon Johnson, I will take, and so now I can breathe a little bit easier with this strategy and knowing that it kind of has come full circle for me. I feel pretty confident in it.
And I don't want to jump ahead with any of these ones, but just to show folks of what some of the possibilities are when you go hard at a strategy and commit to grabbing certain types of players, and then you got to have a little bit of faith saying that we're going to have other positions of need available on that backside, and then to modify your approach. So just like Johnny went ahead and took Kerryon Johnson in the 10th to pair up with DeAndre Swift, who he took in the 7th, this now means he has a backfield of one of two good running backs who's going to be over there. A starting running back is very difficult to find, and Johnny more or less just guaranteed one, not taking one till the 7th with this position. I mean, he took Mark Ingram in the 5th, but I'm saying that now he has a backfield from his 7th and 10th round picks,
Yeah.
and these are the kind of possibilities that emerge when you go with a little bit of a shakeup on your strategy or commit to doing some things that are maybe a little counterintuitive.
Yep. All right, what are you thinking here? You've got
Well,
a ton of running backs, so and you've
I
got
got so
Kyler
many.
Murray. So, are you going to
I'm
go?
hoping that he was here, and he's here. I love to take guys who are slotted to be the number one. I know this is going to mean a lot of times you're paired up with the number one cornerback, but teams wouldn't have you in that spot unless they thought that you could handle it. If you're probably going to be getting the majority of the volume from the quarterback, and this doesn't always pair up. Unlike a running back where opportunity is the most important component for wide receivers, I say talent is the most important component. It doesn't matter how many opportunities you are getting. If you're not a good wide receiver, this isn't coming your way. But I love the opportunity that Darius Slayton is getting
Ooh,
over
I
there
do
in New
like
York.
this one.
I love the fact that he came up pretty much out of nowhere and just straight up leapfrogged Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate, two guys who were never meant to be number ones. Neither was Darius Slayton. And then here he comes out of nowhere, supplanting both of those dudes, and is now Daniel Jones's number one target. I love what he's coming into with this offseason. And I think Slayton's getting slept on in a lot of spaces. He is that number one. He should be getting volume. And I just like the idea of taking him over a rookie CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy, where they're not the number one on the team anyways, and they are also rookies. So that's who I took there. And I'm just kind of cruising down. I like Jamison Crowder for a PPR monster. Um,
Yeah, people sleep on him for PPR, but that dude just gets targets. I remember I had him last year, and he literally had like 18 receptions in one game,
yeah,
and it was a PPR
it's
league.
pretty
So
unreal.
just in PPR, he ended up scoring like 45 points that game because 18 of them came from receptions.
Yeah, he like is more Julian Edelman than Julian Edelman.
Yeah, and he's the poor man's Julian Edelman that no one talks about. I
But
love
he's
that.
like Jamison Crowder's got skills. Even there when he was over there in Washington, he was good. With the
Yeah.
Jets, he's good. Um, this dude just gets slept on. I know Brashad Perryman's over there and is supposed to be filling that Robbie Anderson role, but Jamison Crowder's coming out. He's 5'9". He's got quick speed though. He's only 27 years old. He's never really let you down, and he has shown rapport with Sam Darnold. I like that combo, especially in this PPR format. Um, I think this is almost like the Julian Edelman of old, if especially in a PPR format, but he's not really getting that much credit right now.
No, not hardly any. I love it.
Just rounding out the rest of the 10th round, I didn't get a chance to run it back for our listeners. We had Alexander Madison to start it off, followed by Keyshawn Vaughn, Matt Breida, Evan Ingram, Josh Allen, Game Time Hicks with the Kerryon Johnson pick, Marvin Jones, Debo Samuel, Aaron Rodgers, and Darius Slayton for me. Started off the 11th with Jamison Crowder, followed by Mecole Hardman, Tyler Higbee, Tony Pollard, now setting up Johnny Game Time's 11th round pick, where he took Kerryon Johnson the round before. What's your mind? Are you thinking about taking we talked before about potentially swooping up some more backfield guys to grab. Or is there anybody you're taking a stab on? Is
Yeah.
Damian Harris somebody you're thinking about? What's in your mind right now?
No, so I'm going to this guy I was actually debating at taking at the 10:06 spot,
Mhm.
and then grabbing Carry On in the 11th, but I wasn't sure if Carry On would make it. past all you vultures, knowing what my game plan was. So I passed on him. I was quiet. I was real quiet, and it just so happened to make it back to me. But give me some Philip Lindsay in the 11th.
Ooh.
If Philip Lindsay, if anything happens
How's he
to
there?
yeah, I don't understand how he is still there, but I am loving this strategy more and more as we continue to do it here in this 5 spot. I may have found my strategy for this 5 spot actually. In a
I want to lean
PPR.
a little bit on that, right? Because sometimes you get these guys who you're not even thinking of. Like I took all these running backs early, right?
Right.
And I'm not even thinking about Philip Lindsay. But if I'm in the halfway through this season and these guys are performing about as you expect, do you want Jamison Crowder or Philip Lindsay? Running backs are harder to find.
Right, exactly. And then it's like Philip Lindsay is like people knock him, but he just continues to produce. Like that guy is a good football player, and they do believe in him in Denver. Just because they bring in Melvin Gordon doesn't mean that they don't believe in him. Like they want to run the ball there in Denver. They want when they get in, like, yeah, Melvin Gordon is going to get the goal line carries. They don't want Philip Lindsay to be the goal line back. But sure, a guy that's, again, this is PPR, so a guy that I do project to get the pass, the passing game and the third down role. And Philip Lindsay, we know how efficient he is. So, yeah.
Philip Lindsay is a guy who got the opportunity and never disappointed with it. And I know they bring in a guy with the, you could say higher pedigree in Melvin Gordon. But Austin Eckler had something to say about that pedigree too when he got the opportunity last year over there in Los Angeles. And I see some similarities between Philip Lindsay and Austin Eckler, especially with that chip on the shoulder. And so I love that. I think that they could be competing equally for early down work, but Philip Lindsay gets the majority of the third downs, which ends up making him a very valuable back in a potentially run first team.
Jacob grabbing Christian Kirk. I was kind of hoping Christian Kirk would fall to me in this 12th round. That would have been really, really nice as my, extra wide receiver, my wide receiver 5. Wow, that would have been insane. I'm about to run out of spots. Dang it, I didn't. Oh, no.
I like that one. That's a good auto pick there. Matt Stafford is such a sneaky late round pick.
That ended up working. I was going to go Boston Scott. So Chris ended up getting the guy I wanted. Listen, I think a lot of people aren't really talking about Boston Scott. They want to get really excited. Like Travis, they want to get really excited about Miles Sanders and the potential. But I'm telling you, it's really hard for me to see Miles Sanders get over 250 carries in this offense. And Boston Scott, if you look at his stats, like he was actually getting the rock quite a bit, and they were actually using him as the goal line back pretty often. He had the same amount of touchdown as Miles Sanders. So Boston Scott, like I said, going in the 12th round, I really wanted to grab Boston Scott. Would have been super excited about my running back stable at that point. But again, I'm fine with Matthew Stafford. I think that's like you're right. For an auto draft pick, could be much worse.
I think Matthew Stafford is going to continue to climb on ADP boards. Age-wise, doesn't concern me at all for a quarterback. He's got some great weapons around him right now, led by Kenny G. I love TJ Hawkinson coming back. His running backs look awesome. He's got another year in Matt Patricia's awful system, which hopefully he can just override and make himself back to that 5,000-yard thrower we've seen. Anyways, I just think it's a good year for Matthew Stafford, especially grabbing a guy like that in the double-digit rounds.
Yeah.
Could be a worse auto pick there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that definitely true.
Big shout out to everybody who's sticking with us in the chat, in the live draft. Love to see you here. Thank you, Whisper Nation. It is amazing. We're going to be doing the mock draft marathon coming up in August. So if you enjoy this one, make sure to stay tuned for that. We're doing these every Monday. We love them, but we're really preparing for the mock draft marathon. It's 24 straight hours of mock drafting, basically like one per hour, and get folks to jump on in there and be a part of this. Something we really love to do, and potentially going to be doing to sponsor a charity on this one. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can see all of that new content. And thank you all for being a part of the Whisper Nation and joining us today on this Monday evening for another mock draft. We freaking love it.
Oh, so exciting. And please, if you're watching this right now and you have not, click that thumbs up button. It is so satisfying to just see that blue thumbs up. It also greatly helps our channel. So we would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, also Travis Thompson in the comments asked for a trade advice real quick. So he said, one QB dynasty, Tyler, Mims, or Lamb and Hunter Henry. I would go Kyler and I would rather have Kyler and Mims over CeeDee Lamb and Hunter Henry. What about you, Austin?
What was the hit me on? I was looking on the chat. What was the trade?
So the trade is one quarterback dynasty, Kyler and Mims, or CeeDee Lamb and Hunter Henry.
So Kyler and Mims.
Yeah. What's the Travis? What is the quarterback? What's the quarterback for the Lamb and Hunter Henry team? Or what's what's the quarterback? What's your current quarterback situation for the Kyler team? Because
I don't want to give up Kyler in a dynasty.
No, I know. I wouldn't either. But I'm saying, like,
yeah, I don't know if it's like two rookie CeeDee Lamb and Hunter Henry trading for Kyler Murray and Mims.
Like, I'm not like, okay, hold on. If you have the only way you're trading away Kyler Murray is if you have like
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, like or Pat Mahomes or maybe Dak. Maybe Dak. Some people are gonna call me a homer and say, "Oh, well, because you would rather have Dak or you would rather have Kyler over Dak, you're a homer." But I would. I currently own Lamb and Henry. I have Baker and Goff. Yes, I would trade. Yeah, I would definitely in a dynasty for sure. I would trade away Lamb and Hunter Henry. Who is your other tight end right now? I don't even think it matters because it
doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm not a monster fan of a lot of. I'm not.
Because here's the thing, like CeeDee Lamb, I love CeeDee Lamb. I think he's got insane talent, and I said it on this episode already that talent over everything at the wide receiver position. But I think Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper also have talent. I think they've got competition for targets. I think Ezekiel Elliott's over there. I think that this is not ever going to be a high-flying offense in the way like the Chiefs are or the way the Rams were a couple of years ago. This is going to be a productive offense that keeps moving, which means CeeDee Lamb is just not going to be that 200-point game buster while he's got that competition ahead of him.
I think you're.
I just don't know how you're going to do with the competition ahead of him.
Not this year. No, but this is dynasty. Yeah. This is dynasty. Like I am telling you, you can write this down, quote me on it, whatever you want to do. But in 3 years, on the third year, CeeDee Lamb will be taken in redrafts as a top 5 wide receiver.
Very well could. But Mims is no slouch
there's
either.
He will.
I look at probabilities. I don't look at I don't look at favorites.
I do like Mims a lot. Although this is
a very talented wide receiver draft that came in. Mims is among those talented receivers. Would I rather have CeeDee over Mims? For sure. But the fact that you're getting one of those guys and a potential transcendent talent at the quarterback position,
yeah, I would do. Yeah, no,
I
agree with that for sure.
I'm feeling really good about making that trade.
Yeah, I like it.
So
and he has Mark Andrews as his other tight end. I would do this in a heart. You're starting Andrews anyways. Stop watching our stream right now and go accept this trade before the person rejects it or pulls it, because that's a definite, especially.
Yeah, that's an easy one there for me.
Yeah,
if you got that, pick it up.
Pick it up. Don't worry. I mean, there are some concern with Mims. Don't get me wrong. There are concern with Mims as a wide receiver. There are some reports coming out, but it doesn't you still make that trade, especially if you have Mark Andrews as your other tight end. So you're really kind of just sacrificing Lamb, no pun intended, sacrificing Lamb for Kyler and another shot at what would be, I think Mims will be maybe a wide receiver too. So I'm okay with it. I would do it. Of course, anytime, Travis. We appreciate you, man. All right. Austin Hooper grabs his guy, Austin grabs his guy, Austin Hooper. Did Austin Uh-oh, did he freeze? Uh-oh, Austin froze. Can you guys hear me? Am I still streaming? Yeah, I'm still. I don't know what is going on with Austin here. So just me right now. Let me know, Whisper Nation in the chat room. You guys gotta keep it going. We gotta keep it going until Austin gets back here. We gotta hold down the fort. Not sure what happened. But hopefully he will jump back on here. As long as we're good in the chat room, let me know if my volume or anything is messed up. Okay, cool. All right, so Austin took Austin Hooper. Really good pick here. If we haven't even had a chance to talk about Austin Hooper and the potential that he could be the only tight end. I do think that the Cleveland Browns will use Austin Hooper as more of like the one set. I think they'll be in 2 tight end sets often, but I think that they want to bring in one, or they want one to be more of a blocking tight end than an actual route running, which is why I think David Njoku really wanted to be traded out of Cleveland as opposed to staying there. And so I'm really, really hoping that David Njoku goes to. I just have to pick up a defense here. So normally I would punt this and I would actually take a wide receiver or running back position here if this is way before my draft. But I will go ahead and draft a defense for this mock draft. So we have some people that sometimes I'm going to take Tampa Bay's defense. Their defense is going to be really, really good. So I love Tampa Bay's defense this year. If you can grab them late, like I just did, Todd Bowles is a very, very good defensive coordinator, and he is going to do a lot of things there in Tampa Bay. All right, let's see. Dang it. Austin's internet died, so unfortunately he can't rejoin us for this. Moss or Dillon, and at a later spot, Gibson. So I am not a big fan of Moss at all. However, so I would say A.J. Dillon. I'm a big fan of A.J. Dillon. But Big Travie might say, he would argue he's a big fan of Moss. He thinks that Moss can take over that backfield up there for Buffalo, and I'm not sure that he can. So I personally would go Dillon. I would go A.J. Dillon over Moss, but there's a lot of people that would go Moss over Dillon. So that's a coin flip. Whatever you like, whatever offense that you would rather invest in. I would also personally rather invest in Green Bay's offense than Buffalo's offense. I'll just say that as well. And then a later spot, Gibson, Darlington, Evans, or Kelly. Now, Darlington, Evans, oh, he's back. He made it back. All right, so Darlington, Evans, Austin will probably tell you a lot about Darlington Evans because he has him on his dynasty team. But I do like the overall outcome for him long term. Gibson is really, really intriguing for me, and so I would personally put this Gibson, Darlington Evans, and then Kelly in that exact order, just how you have them. Moss and Gibson for me. Okay, we love you too, Blake. We appreciate you, man. All right, Austin. We just finished up the mock draft. You grabbed
another one in the books.
Another one in the books. Let's go ahead and rate these teams. Why don't we? And we have a few people that have just joined us, or if you have not jammed that thumbs up button, please do. And if you like our content, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us grow. So just hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification. You get notified anytime we release new content. All right, Austin.
What you want to see on these two, right? We are a community on this one. We get energy from y'all. Let us know what's going on in your league. Let us know what kind of mocks you want to see done. Yeah. If you do a really weird combination on your rosters, let us know. We'll mock that one of these times coming up here. We would love to hear what's going on in your league.
We love just mocking around, dude. We love mocking around.
We love mocking around. And I'd say that we like fantasy football leagues more than we like fantasy football itself. It's about the people coming together. It's about having that good time with your friends around a subject matter you enjoy, but it's really about the people that you're talking about it with. So with that said, Johnny, let's go ahead and break it down. Should we start at the front or the back?
Let's start. We started at the back last time. Let's start at the front this week.
Let's start at the front this time. And I think that we should go ahead and talk at the end once we're done evaluating everybody's teams. Let's talk about how the two different strategies between my running back heavy drafting and your wide receiver drafting heavy panned out. Shall we?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, so we'll start at the front side. Ump Daddy was in the number 2 spot. He started off with Saquon Barkley, followed by Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Jones, A.J. Brown, still got me, David Montgomery, Cortland Sutton, Stephon Diggs, Hayden Hurst, tight end out of Atlanta, Jordan Howard out of Miami, Aaron Rodgers, Mecole Hardman, Pittsburgh Steelers defense, Will Lutz at the kicker position, Deshaun Jackson, and Antonio Gibson to close it out. Initial thoughts, Johnny, on Ump Daddy's team?
I really, really like this team. I mean, where you got Aaron Jones, I'm not as big of a fan of with Aaron Jones this year. But considering he got him in the third, I think it's okay. You're pairing that with Patrick Mahomes and Saquon. You were able to get David Montgomery as technically your RB2, which I like as your RB2 more than Aaron Jones.
RB3.
Right. But I'm saying in your starting lineup.
Gotcha.
But, having the wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Cortland Sutton, Stephon Diggs, really, really nice there. I like it. Aaron Rodgers would be the – oh, sorry, this is only – yes, Pat Mahomes, so he's got a little bit of trade bait there maybe. Love the Pittsburgh defense, and Antonio Gibson in the 15th is a really nice late round dart throw. I like this team. I would give this team it's like A minus. It's like right there.
Yeah, it's hard to knock it, right? It's like you got Saquon Barkley.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat on a week to week with Patrick Mahomes and Saquon. Like that's gonna be a hard team to beat.
The only thing I find myself critiquing is the floor of Aaron Jones or Cortland Sutton, but pairing them along with the other running backs and wide receivers that Ump Daddy selected, I think that he's in a very good spot. Aaron Jones hits his ceiling a handful of those games, breaks some of those big runs out. You're happy you got him there, and you're really not. You got the floor from the other guys coming in. So if A.J. Dillon or Jamal goes in there and competes for some of those touches, you're still okay. Hayden Hurst, good tight ends pick there. Not really any holes.
No,
not really any holes on this. And then some shiny pieces. It's hard to not have any holes and to also have some shine, and he's got that at the quarterback and running back position with Saquon and Patrick Mahomes.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of Ump Daddy's team. Which grade you? I'm going with
a B plus.
Going B plus.
B plus, A minus on that one, just because it's the Cortland Sutton and Aaron Jones. For me, I would have. And just because of my own personal style on it, there's a couple of guys I would have taken otherwise. But if those are your guys, completely understand that. I think it was a really solid, smart draft. Chris Mo, then. We're moving on here. I'll go ahead and run this one down. You want to take the first stab at it, Johnny? We got Ezekiel Elliott, Lamar Jackson, Chris Godwin, David Johnson, Robert Woods, Keenan Allen, Dak Prescott, James White, Deontay Johnson, Marvin Jones Jr., Tony Pollard, Boston Scott, Blake Jarwin, the Chargers defense, and Robbie Gould for his kicker. Similar kind of makeup to the other team, to Ump Daddy's.
Yeah, I think this is the best team. I'm kind of peeking a little bit ahead here because I have to because it's a 10-team league, so a lot of these teams are going to be stacked. So you got to figure out where the advantages and disadvantages are. Obviously, his big hole here is at tight end position, but I mean he's got Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott, who I have both of those quarterbacks as top 5 quarterbacks. I think he is very, very solid in the running back and the wide receiver position. That he could probably take Dak and one of these pieces, Marvin Jones or Deontay Johnson or one of these running backs, and trade for a good solid tight end in the season. So I would give this one an A minus. I would, Ump Daddy and Chris's team are very, very, very close.
I'm going to go ahead and give him a B plus. I'm going to put it a little behind Ump Daddy's because of my preference for wide receiver ones being wide receiver ones. And Chris Godwin, Robert Woods, and Keenan Allen are all beasts. They could all actually produce wide receiver 1 numbers. Robert Woods is one of the most slept on wide receivers like ever. I think the last 7 years he's outperformed his ADP with no reason to suggest he's not going to make it an 8th consecutive season this year. I understand he doesn't have that talent to be that elite guy, but he is a solid receiver no matter which way you want to split it, no matter if he's with Buffalo, no matter if it's with the Rams. And you just had Brandon Cooks vacate the scene, so it's over there. I know we like to talk about Cooper Kupp, but Robert Woods really is more of that prototypical number one spot. With that said, it still could be Cooper Kupp. Chris Godwin still got Mike Evans competing with him. Keenan Allen's done a really good job with Phillip Rivers as his guy, but I'm not convinced that he's the slam dunk behind Mike Williams with Tyrod Taylor being the new man in town.
Yeah, that's the one. That's where like the one wide receiver. But I mean, you're getting Keenan Allen in the 6th, and then it's like if it doesn't work out, he's got Deontay Johnson in the 9th, which I'm pretty confident in Deontay Johnson this year.
Yep.
And so like
I think
that's
it's going to be
like,
just fine.
yeah,
I think he's going to do really well at that wide receiver spot. Just not going to flex out maybe as much, but then you pair up what's going to be a top 3 quarterback in Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And then Ezekiel Elliott, David Johnson. Love that combo right there. And then the picks to fill it in. I mean, he got Tony Pollard there to lock up the backfield in Dallas. I really like that pick. James White, like we spoke about with Tariq Cohen, he's got his role in a PPR format. He's going to be valuable no matter what. And James White could be even more so. We don't know what's going to look like with a Tom Brady-less Patriots team, but we do know that Belichick loves this undersized guy, and there have been seasons when James White in PPR formats is just doing monster work over there. So I'm going to stick it with a B+, but with a little caveat of it just hits some of my personal things that I don't really mess around with, like wide receiver 2s as my wide receiver 1, like wide receiver 2s on their team, Calvin Ridley types. Chris Godwin types, things like that. But
yeah,
this is a very smart, well-run team.
Josh made a good point. He said it's tough to rate 10-team leagues, and I was like, yeah, that's a good point because a lot of these teams are so stacked.
Yeah,
but that's what happens. But it's all right. We're gonna do our best. That's what we do here. All right, we're gonna go to Tyler's, Reed Tyler's team here. Alvin Kamara. I know he's been the back-to-back champ the last 2 weeks. When it comes to mock drafting. And so let's see what he does this week. He grabs Alvin Kamara, who I was kind of deciding between him and Michael Thomas, then takes Julio Jones, Kenny G, Amari Cooper as his 3 wide receivers. It's Devin Singletary as his 2nd RB, Zach Ertz, Cam Akers, Matt Ryan, and Tevin Coleman in the 9th. Gets Josh Allen in the 10th, CeeDee Lamb in the 11th, and then Darrell Henderson, the New England Patriots defense, Greg the Leg, and Naheem Hines to close it out. I think this is a very solid team, but when you're, breaking it down, like Julio Jones is going to be very, very solid. Kenny G, I like Kenny G. I think he's going to have a good season. Amari Cooper, not a big fan, but when you're in this format, like, I did my projections for the draft kit. Not going to lie, and I'll be honest with you, he was over 1,000-yard receiver. So, in fact, I think he even had him over 1,100 yards. So, I can hate on Amari Cooper all I want. And I will. And I still will refuse to draft him on any of my teams just because I don't like that from my wide receiver. But as your, wide receiver 3, okay, that's pretty good. I do think, Matt Ryan and Josh Allen, I'm interested in Josh Allen this year. He's at a weird position with me, though, because he's kind of in this limbo of, like, he almost has to now hit on his upside to make it worth drafting him. But there's always, like, the downside that, like, if he doesn't, then you're like, oh, I got my hand kind of caught in the cookie jar. That's how I kind of feel with Josh Allen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you feel or no?
I like having another quarterback that I'd be balancing out Josh Allen with. I think he's got a lot of talent, but I think this is going to be a patient offense. I think it's going to be a defensive-driven, cold weather, run the ball type offense more than not, which is why I really like the Devin Singletary pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have liked it even more had I seen him grab that Zach Moss at a bargain. I mean, Zach Moss went in the 13th round. For me, yeah, if Darrell, like we've said this before, if there's another rookie running back or another running back available who you believe is going to be the starting guy, go ahead and take who you believe is going to be the starting guy. But I recognize I have cognitive biases all the time, and guys I think and guys I have can make a really good case for why they're going to be the starting running back or get the most touches. I'm wrong all the time. Great analysis gets busted because of a coaching decision that ends up getting a guy fired, but it doesn't matter. They go ahead and do things maybe they should or shouldn't do. It's just counter to what you believe. So then you got a situation where Darrell Henderson doesn't actually do anything because they go off and let Malcolm Brown be the starting running back. We haven't seen any of these scouting reports coming out. And so for me, I would like to play it. I don't even want to call it playing it safe. I like to say playing it smart a little bit. When you got a guy like Devin Singletary, who could be in a very productive spot, but then when you got a Zach Moss available so much later, and then you guaranteed yourself the starting running back on what we just said is probably a grinded out, cold weather, run the ball type team. It's a really hard dynamic to pass up for me. So I would have liked to see a little bit more of that in this draft. But again, that's a personal way I like to run it. And if you really think Cam Akers is the guy, and he is, then you just got the starting running back for the Rams. That's going to go in the top 2 rounds in redrafts
do that.
next year.
That's what he was doing with Darrell Henderson because he had grabbed Cam Akers. So he was
love that.
So that's
I missed
why,
that one.
Yeah,
so
Tyler. I did as
I
well.
Love that.
So that's why he did. But for me, I would say that I would much rather have Buffalo's running back than or backfield than LA Rams backfield, just for the sake of that offensive line is still sketch, and they have the hardest run off or they have the hardest schedule against the run. Now, is that going to change, and can you bank on that? No, it can change for sure. But like you said, and he did have an option because of where he got New England Patriots defense, right? He could have went Zach Moss. He could have went Darrell Henderson, Zach Moss, and then you were passing up on the New England Patriots defense, which I understand. It seems very, very valuable that you would want, but I will also preface the defense part with no defense has ever repeated as number one defense in the last 10 years. So for fantasy football. So the odds of the New England Patriots defense being as good as it was last year for fantasy are pretty slim. So that's just a little bit of what we would do. But hey, people.
Yeah, and I do. I missed the Darrell Henderson Cam Akers combo. Reed Tyler, I love that. And if you would have gone ahead and snagged up Zach Moss, it would have locked up the backfield for 2 potential run-heavy teams there in the Rams and in Buffalo. And pairing that up along with Amari Cooper, Kenny G, Julio Jones, and Alvin Kamara, my goodness, that is super nasty. But I like this team anyways. I'm going to give him, for me, I'm sticking with a B+ on this route, a B+ with upside.
Yeah, I think I would be like, this is a team, like, I would be surprised if it didn't make the playoffs, but I would kind of be surprised if it won the championship at the same time. It would be like that kind of thing. All right, we'll get to this last team, and then we'll let everyone go.
We're gonna break down our strategy.
Oh, and our strategy. That's right. All right, so we'll get Jay Blaze breakdown here, and then we'll.
I like this team.
All right, so we got Kerryon Johnson in the Well, I'm trying to steal your job.
I'll hit this one up. Jacob Blay, Kenyon Drake, and Joe Mixon, and he's drafted the 10th spot. So he's at the bookend over on this side. Jacob Blay with Kenyon Drake and Joe Mixon, followed by Allen Robertson and Odell Beckham. Mark Andrews is his tight end. Deshaun Watson, quarterback, in the 6th round. J.K. Dobbins, rookie Baltimore running back, followed by Devontae Parker, Michael Gallup, Alexander Madison in the 10th, Christian Kirk, Jalen Reagor, Justin Jackson in the 13th, Chase Edmonds in the 14th, and N'Keal Harry in the 15th. I love Jacob Blaze draft over here.
I didn't even notice. I didn't put it all together. All of his entire team until you ran it through. Like, this legit is a really, really good team.
Start to bottom, it's concise, it's connected, it's thoughtful.
I mean, if you watch our show, I'm a big fan of Kenyon Drake. I'm a big fan of Joe Mixon this year. I think that both of them are going to be, top 8 running backs. Allen Robinson, I am a big fan of as well as a wide receiver. He gets a little known fact. There were only 3 wide receivers that caught over 100 receptions last year. And and Allen Robinson was one of those wide receivers. And then you're possibly talking about upgrading his quarterback to BDN. I really like Allen Robinson. And then, following that up with OBJ, very, very solid. And then, you're talking about your wide receiver 3 down here. You have a good pick of which one you want. You got Devontae Parker, Michael Gallup, who people are sleeping on. I will say that I actually like Michael Gallup as a value quite a bit this year after doing more research into all of Dallas's wide receiver core. But then Christian Kirk, who I think has a tremendous upside. This is a really good Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. Mark Andrews. I take back whatever I said. This is the team. This is the winner right here, hands down.
The thing I like about this squad right here is going back to the opportunity pieces. Kenyon Drake is going to be the lead dog in what could be a really efficient offense. Joe Mixon doesn't have anybody competing for that early down work. I know he's got Giovanni and they drafted a couple of guys, but Joe Mixon's role is established. Allen Robinson and Odell Beckham is the exact point. This is kind of to the contrary of Chris Mo's pick of a lot of non-number ones. This is like the opposite. He's got some suspect dudes in Odell and Allen Robinson. Maybe you could say their best seasons were a couple of them behind, but I would challenge you and say both of these dudes are just 26 years old. Both of these guys are slotted to be that number one spot. And then you go down a little bit further to Devontae Parker. That's a third guy right there all 3 of these dudes have had top 10 wide receiver finishes, and they're all 26 years of age or younger. Then you throw in Michael Gallup, who's one of those really strong wide receiver 2s. He's like a Calvin Ridley types or a Jarvis Landry types of he's going to be competing with Amari Cooper a lot of weeks for that number one role. And then you pair it along with quarterback Deshaun Watson, Mark Andrews, who's a legit tight end. That's not a streamer guy, and it's either legit or streamer as far as I'm concerned for tight ends. And Mark Andrews is legit. And then you work it down, and it's just some nice dart throws. Christian Kirk, Jalen Reagor, Justin Jackson, Chase Edmonds. It's good handcuffs. It's good guys that if anything happened, they could be playing. And it's also guys who actually could just be producing right away. Get the Chase Edmonds, lock up that backfield over there. I really like this squad.
Yeah, that's really nice. Good job.
I get it A-.
Nice. All right.
So way to go, Whisper Nation.
Way to go.
Great picks. Great to have you. Great to the folks who have stuck around in the chat. Johnny, let's just talk a little bit between you and I. You went wide receiver heavy. I went running back heavy. What were some of the things that you liked about this strategy of doing the upside down, meaning not taking a running back until the 5th round? What did you like about this? What did you not like about your draft so much?
What I liked a lot, I love how the wide receivers came together. I loved, there were a couple of things that I might, tinker with. I might prefer doing a little bit differently. And that would be, just going through the different scenarios and saying, okay, would I like, Kenny G and maybe grabbing Mark Andrews 2 rounds later, and instead of in the 4th getting DJ Moore, do I get David Johnson? Kind of going through those kind of things in my head are very, very interesting to me. But overall, when I'm looking at my team, I absolutely love this team. I love how it shaped out. I think that the wide receivers are just nasty. And then it made it kind of fun in the second half of drafts because although, you're going to look at my running backs and, they're not going to be super, super flashy. You're not going to be like, oh, you got, a super hotness guy at the running back position. But I kind of like the hodgepodgeness of this, and I'm much more likely to do this in a PPR league because, again, PPR points are a lot easier to come by in a running back position, especially these PPR running backs that you can get later. Tyreek Cohen, Phillip Lindsay, these are guys that are going to be able to fill in at that RB2 position. So, and then, getting Matthew Stafford, I think with this strategy, you kind of have to go late round quarterback though. I don't know that I would, skip any of those middle round running backs, to take a quarterback earlier. I wouldn't want to give up DeAndre Swift or Sony Michel to take a Dak or a Matt Ryan or
maybe you'd consider that in the 3rd round if Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes had been taken instead of a Travis Kelce.
Right,
you might take a Travis Kelce, the best quarterback or the best tight end available.
Yes,
right,
100%. In that case, I would. Yeah, so it just gives you a lot of options there. So, but overall, I really like this team, and if I'm in a PPR league, I'm highly considering going upside down, because I feel like I took a stab from round 7 through rounds 11. 5 running backs, and I just need one a week. You just need to fill one spot a week, and I'm giving throwing 5 positions at it. Odds are I'll be able to find one.
Yeah, I like how you put that there. Your wide receivers, there's nobody here who can touch your wide receivers in Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, and DJ Moore. That's just empirically true. You got some really, I mean, Reed Tyler's got a great trio of wide receivers. Even Jacob Blay's got a really nice trio over there. But yours are hands down the best. And then you've got some really good potentials there at the running back position. I think it filled in really nicely and was a way to demonstrate what kind of opportunities are going to lie for you there if you go ahead and commit to some of these guys early on. Johnny, I think that with that Travis Kelce spot there, that's super shiny. Michael Thompson, Tyreek Hill, my goodness, the ceiling and the floor there. Wow.
Yeah,
And then a handful of these running backs. I like how you locked up the Detroit backfield. You got Tariq Cohen, who's got standalone value. Sony Michel. He could be actually a running back one. And you still have the opportunity to grab another handcuff for him there.
right.
Matt Stafford, no sleeping on that.
Which I would have, Whisper Nation, do you know that? Instead of taking Greg the Leg, taking Insane in the Membrane, Zane Gonzalez, I would have taken, Damian Harris to say, okay, I'm going to take this New England Patriots backfield because it is so cheap to invest in right now.
A cheap backfield to invest in that's going to be probably a productive backfield. It's just who is going to be the guy, right? And so I took the opposite route. Johnny went upside down. I went right side up, I guess, and did a ton of running backs. I actually took 5 running backs with my first 6 picks. I took Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, CEH, Kyler Murray, then Le'Veon Bell and Damian Williams. Now, this is an interesting, it's a full point PPR, and so to not take a wide receiver until the 7th round, it's like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Pretty
How
wild.
can you go in a full point PPR and not grab a wide receiver till the 7th round? But look what happened on this one. I've got AJ Green and Tyler Boyd. So we probably are going to have a rookie quarterback throwing the ball. But if AJ Green can do anything, and if the rookie quarterback there latches onto a wide receiver, one of them, and just hones in and just overcommits, could actually have a really productive receiver there. Will Fuller could be the wide receiver 1 on a very pass-heavy, high-fire offense with Deshaun Watson as his choice. Now, he could be just like the number 2 and get hurt on week 2, but we don't play for injuries.
Will Fuller. I plan on taking a swing at him on multiple drafts.
Picked up Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard, so hopefully got Daniel Jones as number 1 on an improved offense. And then Jamison Crowder, Brashad Perriman. Hopefully we've got Sam Darnold's number 1 target on another improved offense.
I didn't even see the Brashad Perriman pickup. That's pretty good. I like that one.
I locked up some backfields over there.
So overall, how do you feel? What's the confidence level? Would you actually go about doing this in a draft, or would you pass on this and maybe go a little bit, maybe mix it up with the running back and the wide receiver spot?
I would roll this out no problem. I would feel totally comfortable with this because I'm getting to roll out with Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, and the Chiefs backfield.
I mean, so I've got my 2 running backs, my flex. If it works out, if AJ Green is the wide receiver 1 that you think he's going to be, or that he has shown in the past, back in 2008, and then Will Fuller. No, I'm just kidding. I do like AJ Green, but but Will Fuller. No, but I'm just saying, like, if AJ Green is the AJ Green we knew 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? The wide receiver top 10. And then Will Fuller stays healthy. You catch lightning in a bottle. Like, if that's your dice roll, like you need, either snake eyes or double sixes to come up with those guys. But if they do, paired with who you have, Kyler Murray, Austin Hooper, and those running backs, like, this team is unstoppable.
Thank you for that. Yeah, because it's definitely riding on my running backs. Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, CEH, Le'Veon Bell. I mean,
that's the other thing. Like, CMC is your wide receiver 1. He's your RB1, your wide receiver 1. So then you're gonna go. You need AJ Green to just be a wide receiver 2, and Will Fuller. But if they both end up being what we think that they could be or what we've seen in the sample sizes, look out.
And the reason I was leave it at this last point, I took that Le'Veon Bell pick when I really didn't need another running back.
Yeah,
but Le'Veon Bell's one of those.
I wanted him. I was hoping he would have fell, but then no, you had to take 10 running backs in the first 6 rounds.
I'll do that. You are not drafting your starting roster week 15 in the draft.
No, I know.
Your draft, it's not going to be there. So when you can get a guy like Le'Veon Bell, who's 1, got name value, 2, he's got positional value, 3, I know Adam Gase doesn't like Le'Veon Bell, but he's still under a fatty contract, and Frank Gore ain't going to be taking touches from him based on merit. So Le'Veon Bell is going to be.
I don't know. That's just something Adam Gase would do just to.
That's why I said on merit.
Yeah.
That's why I said on merit. But Le'Veon Bell is still 28 years old.
Can we get like a petition signed to just like have Adam Gase like removed as the head coach for the Jets? Like
it's more people sign it after every season he finishes as the head coach. I promise you that. But you grab a guy like
not had enough signatures yet.
It's a small fraternity, I guess. But you got to let like Vin Bill. I don't need him right now, but running backs are very hard to come by, and this is a guy, barring injury, is going to hold his value. And so then I can trade him out for another wide receiver if I want to down the road. So gives me options. I like this team.
All right, Whisper Nation, thank you guys so much for joining us on another Mock Draft Monday. It was so much fun. If you have not hit that thumbs up button yet, or if you have not subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting on? I don't know what else we have to show you other than these great mock drafts and awesome videos that drop pretty much daily. But if you want to join, it's easy. All you got to do is click that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notifications anytime we drop new content. Austin, you got any shout outs or anything you want to give before you sign off?
I just want to give a shout out to Whisper Nation right here. Everybody, thanks for giving us a run for our money. Thanks for everybody jumping in the chat. This was a lot of fun. We saw people in the live stream the whole way through. We can't wait to see you next week.
Yep.
Please log in, be a part of this one, and let us know if you'd like to see us do any different kind of drafts or touch on any topics related to your league. Thanks for being here in this mock draft. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is Austin Sear. I'm Johnny Game Time, and we're out of here. Till next time, take it easy, Whisper Nation. Peace.